Welcome back to the serious sector of the Grimdark future. As the Wolf Brothers of Odin Prime squabble with the Dark Brothers over Draconis 5, the robot legions were left to escape. With an established foothold on Draconis 5, the Wolf Brothers began scouting the area. In the ruins of a lost city, a Raven heavy gunship crosses the sky before them in a flash, and they are met with an interdiction. Nearby Night Brothers descend on their position, ready to make them face an Inquisition. This, however, will not happen without force. Depleted of one unit in the fight against the robot legions, Skull readies his remaining force and prepares to face the elite. Welcome back to another MGM Battle Report. We'll be playing Grimdark Future today by onepagerules. I'll put a link in the description so you can download your free copy. In today's report, we continue the story in our narrative campaign, Scars of Draconis. If you missed the other episodes, you can go back and watch those to get caught up. The Robot Legions and the Wolf Brothers are tied with 2 victory points each so far in the campaign. The Wolf Brothers will have an opportunity to take the lead today. We are starting small with 750 points per the campaign rules. Each time we introduce a new faction, they will start with 750 points. We will continue to expand with vehicles and walkers as the campaign progresses. The Wolf Brothers are back in action with Captain Skull at the helm. He has 2 Raider squads from Alpha and Shadow Pack. The Wolf Brothers lost their Raider unit in the last battle and have elected to not replace them at this time, instead conserving their 150 credits. They march to battle with only 515 points. The Watch Brothers of Ward 13 have descended on their location with Luther, a Knight Champion, and 5 Knight Destroyers, in total 630 points. They have elected to put 120 credits in reserve. Due to the difference in points, the Wolf Brothers will generate 2 rerolls as an underdog bonus today. As this is a smaller game, we're going to shorten up the table to a 4x4. Today's mission is Breakthrough, and 1 objective per player will be placed on the battlefield. The markers will be placed in their deployment zones, and we did this 9 inches away from the board edge instead of the normal 12 due to the shortened table. After 4 rounds have been played, the game ends, and the player that managed to seize the most markers will win. The deployment style today is ambush, so it will be on the corners. And for the secondary objective, we have rolled up for honor, meaning that you do not need to let enemy units get in your deployment zone at the end of the game. We will be rolling for random events in this one on a 5-up prior to each turn. The winning army gets 2 victory points and 50 army points, while the loser will receive 150 army points. As deployment is complete, the Wolf Brothers all on the table, and they are staring down Luther, the lone Knight Commander, and it appears the 5 Knight Destroyers are somewhere in ambush on the table, and we are ready for turn 1. Okay, in turn 1, the Shadow Pack is going to make a rush maneuver, giving them the ability to move 12 inches. Over to the Knight Brothers, Luther is going to do the same, moving up behind cover. And then we move back to the Wolf Brothers, where the Alpha Pack is going to move up as well, along with Skull, that is a part of that squad, using a rush maneuver. And that's a very quick turn 1. The Knight Destroyers are in ambush, so they are somewhere on the table, have yet to turn up, and we are looking to turn 2, where the Knight Brothers will be up, and the Knight Destroyers are going to turn up as they appear on the battlefield on the objective behind the Wolf Brothers. The Shadow Pack taken by complete surprise as the leader of the Knight Destroyers charges into their rear, and they bring their energy swords to bear in close combat. These energy swords are 2 attacks each and AP-1. They also rend on 6s, which is AP-4, and 10 dice are going to come out here. And that's going to be a total of 7 hits that come across. And these guys have a defense of 2. The AP-1 takes that to a 3. And there are no rends out there, so these are just going to be normal saves on 3s. 2 of these are going to fail, and I will get regen rolls here on a 5-up. They will have the opportunity to ignore these wounds, and 1 wound will be ignored. With 1 of the Shadow Pack cut down, they turn to attack, and they get 3 close combat attacks each for a total of 12, the 4 that they have remaining. And of these 12, they have a quality of 3, and it looks like 7 of these are going to go through. A reroll was spent here to try to get an additional wound. These guys have a defense of 2, no AP on these weapons, only 1 wound taken. These destroyers have 3 wounds each, and since both sides only caused 1 wound, no morale test is taken. The Alpha Pack, along with Captain Skull, are going to charge into the Night Destroyers, into the flank, to see if they can cause some additional damage and get this unit to pin. Swords begin to clash, and these guys have Furious, so they get 4 attacks on the charge, 20 in total coming from the Alpha Squad. They have a quality of 3, and 14 of these 20 are going to hit. 2 up saves are taken, and 3 are going to fail. That's going to cut down one of the destroyers and apply a wound to another. Skull then attacks in close combat with 2 attacks, hitting on 3s, and one of these will come across. As the Night Destroyer goes to block, he fails, and that applies another wound to one of the Night Destroyers. And we do have an error here, as the Night Destroyers have already fought in combat this round, so when they turn to swing back, they should hit on 6s. We resolve this at their normal quality of 3, so the 6s do rend, however, so this 1/6 would have been AP minus 4. So we did redo these off camera, and they did end up taking 1 casualty on a rending wound. So 1 wound lost for the Alpha Pack, 4 for the Night Destroyers, and a morale test is good. Activation's going back to the Night Brothers, and Luther moves up. He's going to take a shot with his Storm Rifle at the Alpha Pack, and he has a quality of 3. 2 shots coming out from that Storm Rifle, and it looks like one of these is going to hit. And I've got a defense of 2, no AP on this weapon. And rolling that out, I fail, deciding to use my second reroll here for the underdog bonus, and that converts to a save. Trying to play the objective, the Shadow Pack disengages with a rush order, and they start to move around the board. End of turn 2 saw the incapacitation of one of the Night Destroyers, as well as a man from the Alpha Pack and the Shadow Pack. Turn 3 coming up. And with energy swords flashing, the Night Destroyers charge back in to the Alpha Pack. These guys get 2 attacks each. There are 4 of them for 8 in total at AP minus 1, rending on 6s, and shots come across. And there's a total of 4 hits and 2 rends on the table, 3 up saves at AP minus 1 on the regular hits, and one of these will fail. I will get a regen roll on that. First, we are going to take the other 2 saves. AP minus 4 puts me on 6s, and those fail as well. So 2 wounds on those. The regen roll on a 5 up fails, 3 wounds in total. As Captain Skull and the leader of the Alpha Pack strike back, they get a total of 5 attacks, all hitting on the same quality, which is 3, no AP. So it is going to be 3 swings that come across and just regular 2 up saves for these Night Destroyers, and they are going to be good. Morale test is taken. These guys are prime, which makes them fearless, and that test is good. The Shadow Pack activates next and continues to covertly move around the board, trying to get in striking distance of the objective. This does not go without Luther noticing, however, as he uses a rush maneuver himself to get in position to potentially block this objective. In the final move, Captain Skull and the Alpha Pack have abandoned this objective. They are making a rush maneuver towards the other and avoiding these Night Destroyers. That brings us to the end of turn 3, as Skull is moving across the board to challenge Luther in hand-to-hand combat. Alpha Squad took a lot of injuries there, but they are still alive on the table. As we move to turn 4 and the conclusion of this game, Luther is going to cast Cleanse against the Alpha Squad there, and it needs a 4-up. This is D6 plus 1 due to his psychic ability. That spell will go off and hit them with 2 hits at AP minus 2. So these will be 4-up saves that will need to be taken, and one of these is going to fail, and that will eliminate the Alpha Pack. And a morale test is taken by Captain Skull. He is fearless, so on a 2-up, and he is just fine. And seeing their friends go down, the Shadow Pack is going to announce a charge into Luther, bringing their swords to bear. They are furious, getting 4 attacks on the charge. 16 total attacks will be coming across. Luther braces for impact with his energy sword. 16 dice come out, needing 3s, and of these 16, only 5 are successful. Luther does have a defense of 2. There's no AP on these weapons, and he is going to be good. Luther turns the strike back with a quality of 3, and he gets 4 attacks with his energy sword, and it is rending on a 6. He does get one of those. That has to be resolved at AP -4, so my defense of 2 now becomes a 6. That save is failed, and one of the Shadow Pack is cut down. Morale test for the Shadow Pack is taken on a 2-up, and they actually fail and become pinned. The Knight Brothers then take the destroyers, moving them onto the objective, and they are actually going to bring their storm rifles to bear against Captain Skull, and he is within 24 inches. These things get 2 shots each. There's no AP. And while he does have 8 attacks to deal with here, he is going to get cover. They have a quality of 3. Cover is going to make this a 4 to hit. With 4 successes and no AP, these will be just regular 2-up saves, and all are good. And advancing to contest the objective, charging into Luther, Skull is going to get 2 attacks here with a quality of 3, and both of these will hit. Luther does have a defense of 2, however, both shots will be blocked. Luther turns to fight back. He has already fought in combat, so hitting on 6s, but 6s do rend. He gets 2 of them, and that's AP -4, takes my 2-up save to a 6. And both of these are going to fail, and that takes Skull down to 1 wound. A morale test is taken, which will be good, and that will bring us to the end of the game, where that objective will officially be contested, and the Knight Brothers will officially occupy the other one, giving them a victory today. So at the end of 4 turns, on his last wound, Skull submits to Luther. Kneeling for execution in front of his men, Luther brings him to his feet, his life not his to take. He tells Skull he will face a tribunal for treason. The 2 exchange words as the Raven heavy gunship lands, and both disappear into the sky. That wraps up our game of Grimdark Future and the continuation of our story for now. We are playing per the campaign rules and slow growing our forces in this. You'll see much more flavor and bigger battles to come. The campaign table has been updated as the Knight Brothers take 2 victory points for their win today. They will receive 50 points for their efforts to bolster their army forces. The Wolf Brothers will receive 150 points to bolster their forces in their loss today, and neither side received any bonus points. We hope you've enjoyed this game of Grimdark Future. As always, thank you to my 2021 Coffee Supporters Club. If you'd like more information on that, a link will be in the description, along with other ways you can directly or indirectly support the channel. As always, thank you so much for watching. We do these purely for love of the hobby, and we will see you in the next one.